Hi. You're not going to believe what I'm doing. I started a new quilt. But in my defense, I do want to say that I'm actually doing this one probably what would be considered the right way. Like, I am doing all of the cutting first, making sure I have everything ready, then we'll start putting it together. However, I ran out of, so hi, welcome back to the channel. Get what you're sewing, go grab it. Go get what you're sewing. Go get what you're working on. Go get it real fast. I started this today. I've been working on it. I've been planning it in my mind and kind of getting stuff together for a small bit now. And I don't know about you, but I have always been like so overwhelmed and intimidated by like heat and bond or heat and, is that what they call it? Bond and sew, heat and bond. I'll get the package, hang on. Oh, here. Heat and bond. The sewable stuff, and I don't know why. Like, it's so easy. Oh my gosh, it's so easy. So the pattern is a daisy. It's a daisy pattern. I'm probably not supposed to, I mean, I don't know if it matters. I'm not going to give you the measurements and stuff. I'm not going to give you the pattern. So it's Vintage Daisy by Missouri Star. And it's so adorable. And I watched the tutorial and it's easy. Like, that's what I was looking for, is I was looking for something easy. I'm almost finished with the heart. It's hanging on the, I'll show you before we end today, but the heart's almost done. The only issue I'm having with the heart is it's very narrow. Like, it's a very narrow quilt. It's almost like it's barely even, it's not even the width of a twin bed. So I really want to build the width out, but I bought that batik fabric so long ago. I talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I bought the batik so long ago that I don't remember what the batik pattern is called. So now I got to find more of that fabric or take it with me when I'm out and find something that goes with it so that it will, you know, work. But you guys can leave suggestions in the comments as to what colors I should start doing the borders and how I should do the borders so that I can kind of build it out a little bit more, because it's just really, really narrow and that's really, really bothering me. It's not really usable right now. It's too big to hang on a wall and too narrow to get underneath. So, okay, so that project is kind of quasi backburnered because I need more fabric for it because I don't know what to do next. But the bulk of it, the design is done. So now I'm moving on to Vintage Daisy. And I got the backing from all this heat and bond. These little backing pieces are everywhere. And Minnie just came in. Hi, honey. Hey, that's not your paper. Hey, these are not your papers. Anyway, so Vintage Daisy, look it up. It's a really, really cute pattern, I think. And so you use the heat and bond, you cut out all the shapes and then arrange them. And the only thing I'm struggling with is I've got to get, I think, a little bit more organized in how I'm going to do the ironing, because I laid out the first round because I wanted to make sure that everything was kind of, that I was cutting everything right, that everything was really working in the right direction. And the felt mat, this pressing mat that I have, is not quite big enough. It's, I'm guessing it's 12 inches. It's a 12-inch square, and I probably should have gotten a slightly bigger one. But I think I can figure out a workaround for that so that I can just iron it. Like, once you start putting these pieces down, you don't want to be moving them around. You know what I mean? Like, once you lay them, you take the paper backing off and then you lay the pattern pieces down, you don't want to be moving them around. You want to iron them on so that they're stuck, because that's how it works, is that you have to sticky them. Yes, they can see my face. So you lay them down, and then you super carefully move the whole thing over to your pressing mat, you know, ironing mat, ironing board, whatever. And some of these are not. Oh, hello, the iron's off. Jeez, Lou. The iron went off. I'll tell you what, you gotta be smarter than the iron. Got to be smarter than the iron. So, what are you working on? What are you sewing? Did you get it? Is that fun? It's Sunday here in Florida. We just had Hurricane Helene come through on Thursday. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking. Only because it came on shore as a pretty big hurricane. Obviously, everybody's already heard about that. And then it just kept moving all the way up the coast of Florida. And we live in that Gulf Coast. So we had, you know, garbage and stuff thrown around the yard. Not garbage like our garbage, but like tree debris and that kind of thing, and branches. So Friday and Saturday, we spent some time getting a lot of that stuff cleaned up. And so that's kind of resolved. No damage, no extreme water, but the winds they were crazy. They were absolutely crazy. And we do have friends and people that we know that were more damaged by it. Steve's daughter and her husband and our grandkids they were without power for 3-4 days. They just got power back on yesterday. Crystal River, which is about 10 miles from us, 7 to 10 miles from us, was hit really, really bad. And it's the third or fourth time in the last like 18 months that Crystal River has been hit by either hurricanes or flooding or these severe storms. So that poor town really has taken a licking. And if you know of anybody that's in that area, our prayers are with the town of Crystal River. We go to Crystal River probably 4 or 5 times a week for different stuff, for different shopping. A lot of the stores and things in town are in Crystal River. But there's lots of different sites. The Red Cross, I think Samaritan's Purse is probably down this way. So if you are so inclined and have something to give, even if it's, you know, a blanket or a few bucks, or if you're in the area and have some things to donate, that I'm sure that they would be very, very appreciative of it. It's just a middle income town, and they just got hit really, really hard with Hurricane Helene. So our prayers are with them, and anything that you have to give, I'm sure would be really, really appreciated by everybody down there. So, okay. Now that the iron was hot. This is so cute. So I used this fabric called, the fabric is adorable, which I think is going to really make this quilt. I think it's going to be adorable. Called Be Grateful by Moda Fabrics by Deb Strain. So I don't know. You can see it. There you go. So this is just one of the quilt squares. Again, it really was. It looks, I think it produces a quilt square that looks like it was far more complicated than it was. But oh my God. Is that so cute? Oh my gosh. So cute. So cute. So this is my new and then you just use whatever next Sunday when I get a few more of these done. Like I said, I need more of the heat and bond. The heat and bond is I'm a bad quilter. I've just kind of mixed up. Like I had a couple of different packages of Heat and Bond. Some were the really light adhesive. The Heat and Bond comes in different, I guess, different adhesive levels. So like light or a heavier if you want something that's going to be more grippy. You know, maybe if you're not going to sew over it, I don't know. Great for lightweight fabrics, machine, appliques, and quilting. But it's super easy to use. Don't be intimidated. If you're like me and you were really intimidated, I've had some of these packages in my drawer for like years, just because people were like, oh, you should buy a Heat and Bond. And so I bought it, but I didn't know how to use it. It's really, really easy. You lay it out, you iron the Heat and Bond with a sticky side to the back of your fabric, so that you end up with the front side of the right side of your fabric and the paper on the back, and you just iron it on. And then on the paper, you draw with a pencil your pattern out. You know, so this particular pattern, if you get the Vintage Daisy pattern, if you get the download, I got the download because I have absolutely no patience to wait for a pattern to come in the mail. So I got the downloadable pattern. And make sure if you do that, here's a tip, that you print it, that you go into your printer, you know, when you're printing the fabric, the pattern itself, that you print it at like 100%, that your printer doesn't automatically like fit the image or fit it to the page or do something weird. You want to just print it at 100%, because I struggled for 2 or 3 days with the pattern, with the templates for the leaves and for the, get out of here now. Okay, if you don't have the Missouri Star orange small orange peel template, so you can buy this little ruler that's shaped like an orange peel. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter, because in the pattern when you print it are just a pattern that you can print out. And I just printed it on, you know, some heavier paper, right? And made my own. And so then you just take this, you put it on the back of the paper side of your pattern, trace it with a pencil, cut it out with a pair of scissors. For most of you that are really way more experienced quilters than I am, you're like, oh, lady, we know how to use a pattern. But, you know, if you're new, I mean, some of this, like most of this stuff I've had to figure out kind of on my own. And so, anyway, so you cut them all out and then arrange them and then you peel the backing off, right? And so then you have a sticky piece. Set them all down, iron it on. Ta-da! I think it came out cool. I'm really excited about doing the rest of it now. So the rest of this afternoon, Steve's doing yard work. I should probably go help him. I am going to finish cutting out the background squares. So other than a 10-inch, this was the other thing that I wanted to use pre-cuts that I already had. So it uses a 10-inch layer cake. One 10-inch layer cake, and everything that you need, you'll have pieces left over. So a 10-inch layer cake, and then you do need 3 yards of a background fabric. And I had this from Joann's, right? It's just a little, it's got a cute little dot. There's no way you're ever going to be able to see this dot pattern, but it's just a cute little dot pattern. And it's kind of an off-white. In the pattern, if you watch the tutorial, she used white. And I'm not a big fan of like stark white. And I didn't want it for this because the colors that are in this pattern, in this layer cake, are not white. There's a lot of like that creamy, grayish, creamy color. And so I wanted something that was going to complement that. So that's why I went with this. So I used, we'll go to the trash. I used by Joann's. Don't come for me in the comments. Don't. Just don't. Oh, Joann's is terrible fabric. I know, but that's what we have in town. Actually, we don't even have that in town. No, well, now we have Hobby Lobby. Before that, we had Joann's that was 40 minutes away. So, and this is what I had even from before our move, because that's what was in town. We didn't have quilt shops, not very many. So anyway, I don't know what this is called, but it was a keepsake calico fabric from Joann's. And again, just kind of an off-white with a little dot pattern. And so that's what I'm working on today. Steve's working in the yard. I'm going to do some more on this. And then next Sunday, I'm so excited. Next Sunday, we'll start sewing down some of the petals on the machine. And hopefully by then, I'll have at least all of the actual flowers done. And then the only other thing to leave in the comments is, do you think on this pattern, it's very scrappy. So on this pattern, she has two different colors for the petals, and then a different color for the circle, for the, what do you call that? The center of the flower. I don't know. Center with pollen, whatever. But I don't know that I like it as much. I used the lighter color fabric, you know, whatever that bottom color fabric was. I just used that circle as the center, and I kind of like it. Maybe we'll play with it a little bit. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you're working on. Did you get some sewing done today? I hope so. It's a beautiful day here. It's 88 degrees. It's nice and warm and sunny. And just trying to have a relaxing day before we go back to a stressful work day tomorrow, because there's a lot on my plate. So that's what I'm working on. And I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, and I hope you're sewing something. So if you haven't already gotten your sewing project, go get it. Come sew with me in the sewing room, because that's where we're at today, in the sewing room. And I had everything in the sewing room kind of cleaned up. Really, I had made a lot of progress, and it's back to looking like a disaster. So next Sunday we will finish up the daisies, and I'll have some more order to the sewing room. So I hope your sewing room has some order to it. Most people do. Mine I think is probably the exception. Have a wonderful Sunday. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, so when we put up new videos, you'll see them. Love ya. Happy Sunday. Bye.